In this episode, you will hear from all the members on the cast of the Sports Blackboard about what their opinion and what they think about the wage gap, for why it exists, and what its potential causes are. So we will just jump right in and hear from Bryson Arnett first.
After learning more about the topic and the effects the wage gap in sports has on female athletes and their families, I believe female athletes should be paid and treated equally when compared to male professional athletes. I believe this because, much like the United States women's national soccer team, I believe this to be a form of gender discrimination, where female athletes are subject to inadequate practice facilities, transportation to games, and coaching, all because of their gender. Although Title IX and many college sports programs offer scholarship amounts in favor of female athletes, the same favor does not translate to a professional level. Female athletes should not have to be sexualized by the sports industry to earn extra income as well, and their success should not be measured by their looks and sexuality in the first place. When it comes to the financial strain placed on them, female athletes should not have to worry about day-to-day expenses, while some male athletes earn enough for those expenses and then some. In many cases, it is hard to become a successful female athlete, not only because of the wage gap itself, but also because of the physiological differences that can cause female athletes to become more prone to injury. Still, many female athletes break these barriers and put in the same amount of work, if not more, to become professional athletes. It is because of these hardships and the equally demanding nature of being a professional athlete that I believe that female professional athletes should be treated and paid the same as their male counterparts.
Next, we will hear from Destiny Brewer.
By researching the difference in scholarship amounts that are given to male and female athletes in the process of making it equal, I've learned that in most aspects of life, men and women aren't equal even when things are out in place to make them equal. The only way that we could potentially make things equal is by having a set amount on all aspects of life, making it to where it's only based on the way these individuals perform and someone starting first to make an example. Even though we have progressed from the early 1900s where women were not seen as equal and would most certainly not get paid the same, we still have those same occurrences today, and it should make everyone want to make it right. Someone has to start first and be that example so we can establish and accomplish this. It all starts with us individually, and it should be our duty to make everyone of all races and genders equal.
The third member you will hear from is Josie Robinson.
From researching the sexualization of female athletes in the media and reading over the issues leading back to the wage gap, the media should not be focused on the physical attractiveness of the athletes. By basing their time in the public eye off their sex appeal, the athletes' skills and abilities are turned into a joke. Instead, the media should cover the athletic feats of the women to shift the focus away from their bodies. This will help further establish that women are not lesser importance than their male counterparts. This will also stop female athletes like Allison Felix, who are motivated to quit their passion due to the frustration of being perfect for the media. Felix's testimonial, the damage the objectification does to the reputation of the athletes, and the fact that it is done solely for financial gain, prove that the over-sexualization of female athletes in the media should come to an end.
The fourth member you'll be hearing from is me, Shivam Patel. After extensive and thorough research on the wage gap, I feel as if there are reasons that the wage gap exists, but I'm not totally sure if those reasons are qualified enough to be considered such a driving factor to the point where the majority of women, not just in athletics, but all across the board, have to be affected by it. It seemed to me that the reasons presented during my research for the existence of the wage gap in sports was very dependent on the old mentality where males must have an edge over females. They are the so-called alphas of the household and should therefore make more money. But I see it as whoever works harder and does better quality work should get paid more. And females are more than capable of doing such work, including in athletics. I think it should be acknowledged that males and females are the same. They are both humans with brains and the ability to complete tasks, so they should be treated the same when discussing pay differences in gender. I personally had to research the financial strain female athletes have put on them when discussing the basics needed to be able to sustain a life compared to male athletes. And I can be certain in saying there is an injustice being done before us today, and it needs to be stopped. The last member you'll be hearing from is Melissa Chase.
Hey guys, it's Melissa again, and I would just like to tell you guys my point of view and my thoughts on the wage gap. Wage gap exists because society has this idea of men being superior than women, whether it's sports, jobs related, anything. In sports, it's more common for people to watch men play than women. Many people would pay to see men perform than women. Now, with that being said, this doesn't apply to everyone. Not everyone wants to go see the men's play. They rather see the females play. And that's totally okay. Nowadays, many people would rather pay to see men perform rather than women. And I believe that is the reason for the wage gap. Me personally, I love watching basketball, especially college ball. Whether it's women or men, I just like watching the game. Now, for NBA and WNBA, I'd rather watch WNBA than the NBA. Why? Because I feel as though WNBA don't get the support as much as the NBA. I don't believe there should be a wage gap. Women can do the same thing as men in any sport. It might take females longer to master the skills, but we can do it. If women can do the exact same thing as men, then it should be equal pay across all sports.
So, as you can see, we all have different ways of viewing this topic, but one thing is unanimous with us all. The wage gap is not something that society should have. We can't continue to look in the past of what has been done. We must do as a progressive society does and continue to grow and have optimism for the best to come. This is the Sports Blackboard signing off and thanking you all for watching. Till next time.